Good morning. It's time to go. We are packing up. Kev's getting the last of it all closed up. And it's time to go. So it's 7 a.m. Our international flight is at 1 p.m. Our boat leaves from here at 8 a.m. We have to be down at the dock at 7:45. So we're just getting all finalized up here. We're gonna have breakfast and then head out. We leave behind a lot of stuff wherever we go. It's just like how I clean my closet. So I'll show you what we're leaving behind today. So I'm leaving behind pretty much most of my dinner outfits, some of Kev's shirts, some bathing suits, some bags, things like that. And then when I go somewhere like a big resort, I would detail out exactly what I was leaving, so security will let the person out who's keeping it. Here, I'm not really worried about it, so I just said like keep or throw away. It's a small place, so if they want it, I'm sure it won't be a problem. If not, it can all be tossed. It does not matter to me one way or the other. And then another thing I wanted to mention, so our next resort that we're going to is Atelier Playa Mujeres in the Cancun area of Mexico. And we're not gonna be filming there, I don't think we're gonna be vlogging. So this will be our third stay. I feel like you guys have already seen it. But what I do want to talk about is the housekeeping staff. If anyone has ever been to Atelier, you know that they like to take your phone cords and like wrap them around, and it is my biggest pet peeve. So what I got, and I tried them out on this trip, is a magnetic charger for both Kev and I. So you can unwrap it and then it wraps back up magnetically. So that way they aren't gonna be tying my chargers like crazy people. So it's not just Atelier, it's many other resorts that they do this. They did not do it here, which was nice, but also it folds up into a self, so they didn't have to. The brand was Magtame, I believe, Magtame. I'll put a link in the description in case you're interested in buying them as well. But we are gonna put our luggage outside now and head out.
It's like the walk of shame.
It is like the walk of shame, and it's so hot. It's so hot and humid. Look, it must have rained overnight, and it's just like, ugh. At least the boat will be a little breezy. That'll be good. The hopper plane will be hot. That's gonna be hot.
So I got a water packed for us.
Yeah, good. The water looks so nice and calm right now. Well, I can't see it too far, but it's so still.
This is all the luggage for everybody that's leaving. I think they're gonna need one boat just for this.
I know. We're gonna have to buzz on the big guy.
Final meal, I went with the omelet, the hash browns, some fruit, muffin, and Brittany just went with some fruit.
The process of leaving the resort is basically the same as arriving to the resort. The only thing that was a little different was the time each process took. The water on our departure day was much calmer than on arrival, so we were able to get to the dock in about 17 minutes or so. And that's when I noticed that there was a coach bus to pick us up. When we arrived, we had, just a small, like 10 or 12 seater van. And the reason for this change was because the whole resort was leaving on this same day. So basically 95% of the guests were on these two boats, and then we're all going to the airport. So they put us on one coach bus together. The problem was this bus was massive and we had to go much slower over the bumps. So it took us about 30 minutes to get to the local airport. We dropped off our bags and we got a luggage ticket, then went inside to get checked into the flight. Here you just give your last name, they look you up in the computer, and then you get your ticket. We got our tickets. This is it. That's how we get on. We're blue. We got our luggage and our tickets. Very secure here. Just like on our arrival flight, we were sized up, looked up and down, and then told where to sit based on how much we weighed. So you may not sit directly next to your traveling companions, but we're all going to the same place, right? So the total flight time this day from takeoff to touchdown was about 18 minutes or so. Upon landing, any luggage that you had underneath the plane is going to be brought inside by an airport worker. So you're going to go inside to the baggage carousel and you're going to locate your luggage. On the way out, they're going to check your luggage ticket to make sure you have the right bags.
How was your flight?
It was hot. It was a hot flight. We have like 4 hours till our flight to Miami. And I think we have a 2-hour layover in Miami, and then home we go.
We're just filling out the customs form.
Yeah. What's our flight number?
Just ordered some lunch at Sun Garden, just waiting on it right now. Should be done. I think they call your number. I'm gonna try to get my beer. Right next door, Sandfly. The fried chicken strips, it took about 35 minutes. Waited, had a beer, but it was still long. I didn't know what was going on because they have a restaurant next door. I thought that's where they had the fried foods, but it was like a buffet place more or less. And they ship it in, or not ship it in.
Ship it in.
Comes with all the bags of people's food that you can make for Bon appetit. So Brittany made it. She had the triple S's and had to sit over here. And she called it jail. They checked her bag. Actually, it's around the corner, but she can't leave. So I'm gonna stand here with her until it's kind of like, it reminds me of jury duty almost. You get picked once in a while, every 3 years or so.
You ever get this?
About?
No, I don't want to talk about that right now. I'll get back to you. The flight to Miami was a breeze, slight turbulence, about 2 hours. When we landed, there was no other international flights at the same time as us, so we were able to breeze right through all of the lines, and then we went over to the Admiral's Lounge because we knew that our flight is going to keep getting delayed and delayed and delayed for weather, which it did. The plus side to going over to the lounge was that they had a homemade guacamole set up there, and it was just phenomenal.
So what'd you get from the lounge?
Got a little chips and guac and water.
Good. So currently our flight is delayed, like what, 45 minutes? 45 minutes, hopefully. The weather, it is thunder and lightning out right now, so hopefully that.
I gotta get home.
So I got a nice marg with Patron Silver and some guac also, and chips. Good snack before our flight.
All right, while we're in the lounge delayed, I want to talk about the 5 things that I was worried about and let you know if it was a problem or not. So the first one, being bored with not enough to do. I don't really think that was a problem. I was never bored. I was more worried about Kevin being bored, but I think between the 2 snorkeling trips that you did and also just like needing the downtime to relax, I feel like
it was very relaxing. Took some naps, slept in. We slept in.
Which Kev never does because he's always going to get the chairs and get the coffee
wouldn't have to
and like doing all sorts
get
of
any
stuff.
chairs or nothing here.
Nothing. Oh my god, nothing like that.
So.
Staying 6 nights instead of my 5 or less. That kind of was a problem, but that's not with this resort, that's just with any resorts. I just like to go home because we travel so often. So if I only was traveling for like 1 week a year, then I probably wouldn't feel this way. But usually, like by like night 4, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go, but that happens everywhere. Bug bites. I was very concerned about that. Really was not a problem until the day after, like when it rained all day. After that, next day was bad, and I was like covered in bites, and
I
so
got
was
bit.
Kev.
I never really get bit when you go on vacation, but this time I did. I'm still itchy.
Yeah, you actually got more than I did, which was strange. So, 4, no gym. That was, I mean, not an issue, but it would have been nice, but we just did like circles, like all the way around, like miles and miles. I mean, not miles, like mostly 2, but it would have been nice to have one, but it wasn't like a deal breaker, but they are supposed to be adding one. And then the lack of snacks or food options was never a problem. I was never hungry outside of the meal times at all. And the bar snacks was like some of the best things. I actually think we never talked about that in the review video, but I think that's one of the best things that the resort did because it brought everyone together. So you could tell what time it was based on when everyone congregated to the bar because the snacks were going to be so good.
And mine was, my only concern was the getting there with the 2 planes and then a bus and then a boat. I don't think that's an issue now once I saw everything, because they would wait for you for the hopper plane. They would probably wait for you if you're a little bit late.
Oh yeah, and they'll just put you on the next one.
And then the van driver is so nice. I forgot his name, but Jose, very nice guy. Told you like his whole life story, and I mean the boat ride was nice too. And then once you get there, then that's paradise right there. You're on the island, so wasn't worried about that.
No, it was good. It was good. Going back to the Belize airport today was like wild.
Packed.
And they took the only thing that we got stopped for in security was bug spray. And he's like, pulled the bag aside and he's like, you have 2 bug sprays. And I was like, okay, I can't have bug spray. And he's like, no. And I said, well, how come we didn't get stopped with bug spray coming in? And he said, well, it's flammable. It can't go out. I said, but it can come in? And he said, yes.
Made no sense.
Doesn't really make sense to me, but I gave him the bug spray, and I think they just needed the bug spray, to be honest with you. Because how is it not flammable on the way in, but it's flammable on the way out? I don't know. But we had a little over an hour to wait, so that's all for now. Hopefully our flight leaves on time now. We're leaving the lounge. Right now it's like almost 2 hours delayed, so keeps getting delayed every time. It's supposed to be within 10 minutes of boarding and we're like 15 minutes from boarding, but our gate's like really far away, so just fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we leave now and we get home. I want to go home and take a shower, go to bed. Luckily, our flight did end up taking off on time. Well, not on time, but it was not delayed again, so that's a positive. Nothing really to report on the flight front. It was a little turbulent, but that's to be expected given the weather. The flight was a little under 3 hours long, and we ended up walking in our house just before 1 a.m., so it was a really long travel day. We're going to end the video here. Up next after this vlog is going to be a review video with our thoughts. So thank you so much for watching this series. I know it was a little bit different and I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you're new here, we would love to have you subscribe so you can see future travels. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.